The old lighthouse keeper, Solara, told the tale with a twinkle in her eye. It was a legend passed down through generations in their quiet coastal town.
The last sunset of summer, she'd rasp. Her voice, like the whisper of the ocean breeze, holds a magic all its own.
Lena, a girl with eyes reflecting the endless sky, listened with rapt attention. Solara claimed that lovers who witnessed this sunset together were bound by destiny. Their love, like the final rays of the summer sun, would paint their lives with hues of joy and forever after. Little Lena, clutching her well-worn sketchbook, dared to dream. Years tumbled by like seashells on the shore. Lena grew, her dreams tucked away like precious seashells in a box. She moved to the bustling city, her life a whirlwind of ambition and deadlines. But the memory of Solara's legend and the magic it held never truly faded. It lingered, a soft echo in the chambers of her heart. One summer, Lena found herself drawn back to the sleepy coastal town of her childhood. The pull of the ocean of memories, both faded and vivid, was too strong to resist. She rented a small cottage near the shore, a sanctuary of peace from the city's clamour. Next to her quaint abode stood a charming art gallery, its windows framing the endless expanse of the sea. It was called the Painted Sunset. Drawn by an invisible thread, Lena stepped into the gallery. Easels stood like silent storytellers, each canvas a window into another world. But it was a particular painting that stole her breath away. A swirl of colours, vibrant yet serene, captured the essence of the legendary last sunset. Standing before it, Lena felt a connection, a sense of recognition that went beyond mere aesthetics.
Can I help you with something?
Lena turned, her heart skipping a beat. Standing before her was the artist, his eyes reflecting the same depth and passion she saw in his work. His name was Ethan, and he had a smile that could charm the stars from the sky. Over steaming mugs of cocoa in a seaside cafe, Lena learned about Ethan. He was a dreamer, chasing sunsets and translating them onto canvas. His passion for art was contagious, his words painting pictures as vivid as the ones on display in his gallery. Lena, initially hesitant, found herself opening up to him. She spoke of her city life, her aspirations, and the quiet longing in her heart that she kept carefully concealed. As days melted into weeks, their bond deepened. They explored hidden coves, shared laughter over picnic baskets on the beach, and watched the sun paint the sky in a kaleidoscope of colours each evening. Lena found herself drawn to Ethan's warmth, his kindness, his passion for life that mirrored her own hidden desires. He, in turn, was captivated by her intelligence, her quiet strength, and the way her eyes sparkled with unspoken dreams. Yet, a shadow loomed over their burgeoning connection. Ethan had been offered a prestigious art fellowship in Paris, a dream he'd held onto for years. The opportunity was too grand to ignore, but the thought of leaving Lena and the blossoming love he felt for her filled him with a bittersweet ache. The news hung heavy in the air, casting a melancholic veil over their stolen moments. Paris, the city of love, of art, of dreams. It was everything Ethan had ever yearned for. But now, the thought of leaving Lena behind felt like tearing himself from a part of his soul he hadn't known existed until her. Lena, her heart a tapestry of conflicting emotions, put on a brave face. She urged him to follow his dreams, assuring him that she would cherish the memories they had forged. But behind her forced smile, a storm raged. The legend of the last sunset, once a childhood fantasy, now felt like a prophecy unfolding. This summer, their summer, was coming to an end, and with it the unspoken promise of a love that could have been. The day of Ethan's departure dawned with a poignant beauty. The sky, as if mirroring their emotions, was a canvas of bruised purple and fiery orange. They walked hand in hand along the shore, the sand cool beneath their bare feet. Words, inadequate to express the maelstrom of emotions within them, remained unspoken. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in the legendary hues of the last sunset, they stood facing each other. Ethan, his eyes mirroring the fading sunlight, reached for her hand.
Lena, this isn't goodbye, it's...
He trailed off, searching for the right words.
It's until we meet again.
Ethan left before sunrise the next morning. The silence in his absence was deafening. Lena wandered into his empty gallery, the air thick with the memory of his presence. Her gaze fell upon a painting carefully placed on an easel facing the sea. It was the last sunset, captured in all its breathtaking glory. But there was something different about this painting. In the foreground, two figures stood hand in hand, their silhouettes outlined against the blazing horizon. Lena's breath hitched. They were her and Ethan. A small note rested against the painting. It was Ethan's handwriting, flowing and familiar.
This sunset may be over, but our story is just beginning. Wait for me, Lena. I promise. I'll be back.
Tears welled in Lena's eyes, blurring the image of the painting before her. But even through the tears she saw the promise of a love that transcended distance, a love destined to be reunited under the last sunset. 10 years rolled by like waves on the shore, each year etching its mark on Lena's life. She had blossomed into a successful architect, her designs reflecting the same beauty and serenity that she found in the coastal town. Yet a part of her remained tethered to the memory of that last sunset, to the promise whispered against the backdrop of a sky ablaze with colour.
Wait for me, Lena.
She had received postcards from Ethan, each one a window into his world of art and travel. They spoke of bustling Parisian streets, sun-drenched Italian vineyards, and the vibrant energy of New York City. He was living his dream, his talent taking him to places and heights he'd only dared to imagine. But through it all, his words held a constant echo of that last sunset, a promise that he had carried with him across oceans and continents.
Wait for me, Lena.
One summer evening, a decade after that fateful sunset, Lena found herself drawn back to the coastal town once more. The pull, stronger than ever, felt like destiny calling her home. As she strolled along the familiar beach, the sand still cool beneath her feet, she noticed a figure standing before the art gallery that had once been Ethan's.
It was Ethan.
He stood with his back to her, but even from a distance she recognized the familiar tilt of his head, the way he held himself with an air of quiet confidence. Her heart, dormant for so long, stirred to life. It was Ethan. Time had weathered his features, etched lines of experience around his eyes. But his smile, when he turned and saw her, was the same one that had captured her heart all those years ago. The years melted away as they stood facing each other, the roar of the ocean waves the soundtrack to their reunion. Ethan looked at Lena, his eyes tracing the contours of her face, memorizing every detail.
You came back, he whispered, his voice hoarse with emotion.
You asked me to? Lena replied, her voice barely a tremor in the salty air.
He led her into the gallery, the space now his own, showcasing a decade's worth of art and memories. He stopped before a painting, the colours as vivid as the day they were painted. It was the last sunset, the two figures in the foreground, a testament to a promise kept. As the sun dipped below the horizon, mirroring the legendary last sunset of their past, Ethan turned to Lena.
Do you believe in legends? He asked, his voice a low murmur.
I do now, she whispered, her gaze locked on his.
The legend of Solara, once a childhood tale, had come full circle. The last sunset, a symbol of endings and beginnings, had brought them together, separated them, and ultimately united them once more. And as they stood there, bathed in the golden glow of the setting sun, they knew that their love, like the endless cycle of sunsets and sunrises, was destined to be. A love story written in the stars, sealed with a promise whispered against the backdrop of the last sunset.